Hello, I'm Mr. Snapper.
And I'm Red Snapper.
And this is Project Nutmeg.
Yay! We enrolled in basic agility classes at Zoom Room. This is part of Nutmeg's continuing education as a performer, and it really helps me become a better trainer. I know a lot of people who are thinking about taking their dogs to agility classes.
Sorry, there's some ear licking going on here. It's very distracting.
Okay.
If you're thinking about enrolling in agility, this video is for you. Dog agility training is a cooperative canine sport where the trainer guides their athletic dog through specific obstacle courses. It's great for bonding with your pet because you work together. Nutmeg has only gone to a few agility classes, but you can see how it has made her more attentive to Red. Compare that to how easily distracted she was during her burlesque debut.
To take agility classes at Zoom Room, your dog has to pass basic obedience. Your dog has to wait in position before starting through the obstacle course. That's one of the big things that you have to hit before you can start. I'm sure there are similar requirements for other agility training programs. It was a little challenging at first for Nutmeg. She just wants to go, go, go. Agility is an off-leash activity. The other dogs enrolled in the class remain leashed outside of the training room until it's their turn. It's different from obedience classes because there aren't classmates offering distractions in the training portion.
Right, and she definitely needs to work on distractions. Let's talk about what equipment to expect in agility training. Nutmeg is naturally curious and wants to climb, which is what she did for her initial private evaluation. There are tables that are like elevated spots for the dog to start, stop, or pause along the course. The A-frame is nice and wide. When Coca and Nutmeg had private gym time, Coca did well with the A-frame. Nutmeg's biggest challenge with the A-frame is that she's impatient. She doesn't start and exit at the very bottom. She hops on or hops off before she gets there.
She's impatient like me. There's also a beam that they can walk that's maybe 2 or 3 feet off the ground. They had a version of this beam at the stunt dog show that we saw. I have to pull my arms in and walk alongside Nutmeg so she doesn't try to jump off because she's so used to being on boobs and being carried on boobs, and it's like the perfect height for her to try to jump to me. Coca crossed it successfully once, but she fell off of the on-ramp the second time she tried to do it. She might be a little too wide for the beam.
There's a tunnel. When you watch videos of agility routines, the tunnels are usually curved. At Zoom Room, though, at least in the sort of beginning and intermediary stages, they keep it straight so that the dog can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, it's not as scary when you can see the end of the tunnel, especially when you're starting.
Yeah. During our private gym time, Coca went through the tunnel but didn't really get it. She tried to jump on top of it twice, not realizing it wasn't solid. Why'd you do that? To be fair though, Coca's tunnel experience has been with solid dog park playground equipment. Nutmeg was uncertain of the tunnel at first, but she figured it out. What made the difference was Red would run alongside the tunnel, sort of stomping her feet so that Nutmeg could hear, oh, she's running alongside the tunnel. We have an IKEA play tunnel. I'm gonna just unzip this real quick.
Nutmeg's paying attention to the play tunnel experience.
We may lose Coca when this opens up, by the way.
Oh, because it goes ka-donk.
Yeah. So this is like a play tunnel that they make for kids. It's not very big.
I think it was maybe $30.
And it's kind of flimsy, as you can see, very flimsy.
It is. It's pretty lightweight. Oh, but Nutmeg's excited.
She's excited about it. Let's see if she goes through it.
I'm just going to put this on the floor in front of me. And I'll hold on to the end.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this tunnel, yeah, you can't tell, you can't see, but she's going through the tunnel right now. It didn't interest her as a puppy. It's really lightweight as well, like I said, and we need to figure out how to sort of keep it from rolling around.
Here, I'll set you up over here.
Yeah. The tunnels at agility training are really sturdy. super sturdy.
They are. I think they're weighted and they're made with stronger fabric. This is obviously something for children. You give this to children and they entertain themselves, just like feeding them ketchup and stuff. I don't know what you do with children these days. I have no idea.
It's like heavy tent fabric.
Yes.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it's pretty durable. And she's just going in and out of the tunnel next to us. She's perfectly happy with the tunnel now. Now that she's done agility training, she's happy with the tunnel.
Yes.
One of the most challenging pieces of equipment for Nutmeg was the poles. She has a better time when we have marker dots at the end of the poles, but weaving poles are pretty standard for dog agility. Fun fact, I have to use the command poles because we use weave to describe the move where she does figure eights around my legs while I'm walking. So I have to say poles where other trainers will say weave as they navigate the dog through the poles.
That equipment is really expensive. So I drug out this IKEA tube. This wasn't much. It was like 20 bucks maybe?
This was like $30 for the IKEA
it wasn't
tube.
much, but it's also incredibly flimsy. It's not like we can, I'm sure that if we started using it for regular practice, little claws would probably wind up ripping it to shreds over time.
Well, and Coca could not go through this.
Exactly.
She's too tall. Nutmeg is the right size to go through it. I think Buster was the right size to go through it too.
But it's too small for Coca. But this equipment's high quality equipment is very expensive if you look for it. So even the poles for weaving can be pretty pricey. So I kind of DIY'd a pole course for Nutmeg in the backyard using PVC pipes and this white striping paint. And the idea is giving her an opportunity to practice regularly so that she'll be more confident when it's time to test to advance to the next agility level, the agility class, or for performing.
For sure.
Yeah. And lastly, the last bit of equipment are hurdles and hoops, and that fills out the obstacle course. And the hurdles are interesting because they're these little pipes that just sort of rest inside these little cups. So if the dog hits trying to jump over it, hits the pipe just falls out. It's very lightweight.
They are very lightweight pipes.
The whole goal is to let the dogs have fun and do some really cool stuff without injuring themselves.
Yes.
That's the idea, right?
I thought about using my ballet bar to give her something to step over as we work on some things, but I think the ballet bar, if I move everything into place for her, I think it's too hard.
Yeah. If she runs into it, she
then
could
she
trip
could,
and
it's metal, so it doesn't fall out of place.
Yeah. The great thing about the hurdles and the hoops is that they can be adjusted so that everything is the right height for the right dog. Even though she may be happy trying it, we don't want our stubby leg little Nutmeg trying to jump over a hurdle that's been set up for like a retriever, a dog that's like 60 pounds.
Or like Coca.
Like Coca, yeah.
Agility training is great for smart, higher energy dogs that enjoy problem solving. There's a reason that you see a lot of Border Collies and Aussies in agility demonstrations and sporting events on television. Now, that does not mean that other breeds don't do well in agility. We've seen a variety of breeds in agility classes at Zoom Room. In fact, when we were in classes just the other day, there was a corgi in class. Coca and Bus would have enjoyed agility in their younger days. Coca is about 10 years old now, though, so expecting her to quickly hustle around the equipment is like expecting me to roll around and do athletic floor work as a middle-aged dancer.
Or expecting me to do anything athletic. One last thing to note about agility class is that, at least at Zoom Room, and this may be different with different opportunities, different agility classes, but at Zoom Room you cycle through turns with the equipment. We mentioned earlier that it's an off-leash activity. When Red works with Nutmeg, the other dogs and trainers are stationed at various places in the facility while waiting for their turn in the training room. And while Red and Nutmeg are waiting for their turn in the training room, Red will work on obedience and little tricks with Nutmeg because it's work time.
It is work time.
Keep her engaged. I'm like really lounging on the lounge now. I'm gonna like move so I'm not.
Don't get too athletic.
Draw me like a French woman. We lost Coca, but now I can at least sit like an adult. The higher your dog advances, the more students are in the class, and potentially the less time you have to work. Basic classes are limited to 4 students so that each dog gets about 11 minutes over the course of the class. At the advanced level, dogs get under 8 minutes of work each when the class is full. Of course, by the time you're at the advanced level, the dogs know what they're doing, right? So they're hustling when it's their turn in the room. At least Nutmeg hustles with, again, her stubby little legs.
She does, and class size varies. I'll say that. Class size varies from time to time. So we've been in classes where it was 2 students. We've been in classes where it was 4 students at the intermediate level. And you get more time working in the room, but the dogs get tired over that time. So if you have 2 dogs who already know that the equipment works and they kind of have an idea of where to go,
Yep.
after they have put in like 10 or 15 minutes each, they're pretty tired. Honestly, they're pretty exhausted.
I was just going to add that the first time she did basic agility training, it was like a holiday, Monday or something like that, 3-day weekend kind of situation.
Yeah.
And so she was the only student there, and she had the run of the place for the full session, but she was exhausted by the end of it because it is work. It's work for dogs. We talked about this in a previous video when we were talking about the All-Star Stunt Spectacular. I never get the name of that correct.
When we were talking about the stunt dogs.
When we were talking about the stunt dogs. We'll leave it at that.
And we'll link to it.
We'll link to it. Take a look at the video. Let's see if I can do this right there. Did that work?
I think that's the spot.
I think that's the spot.
Oh, aren't you
Look,
somebody?
if it's not right there and I look like an idiot, just it's in the description below. All right, so we talked about this when we went to the stunt dog show, and that is that the dogs aren't out there for very long. They come out, they do their thing for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then they go rest up while another dog comes out.
That's right.
So imagine keeping this little kid with her stubby little legs, again, out there for, you know, a full 30, 40 minutes. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of running around, and she was worn out by the end of it.
For sure. And I just want to say this about her stubby little legs. Genetically, she has stubby little legs. If you watch the DNA episode, you'll see she is prone to have stubby little legs.
Yeah.
That was one of the
We're not picking on
gene
it.
things. It's just true. I'm not tall. That's a fact.
See?
She likes to kiss.
Yes.
Stubby little legs. Thanks for joining us today. I'm definitely enjoying our agility work, and I hope you enjoy this part of Nutmeg's continuing growth to be amazing on stage.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and boop the bell for notifications. And have you taken your dog to agility classes? If so, did we leave out anything important, anything that's helpful to know before taking agility? Maybe you're a dog trainer and you train dogs in agility. We want to hear from you. Please drop us a note in the comments. I know we're a small channel, so it's a little bit of a ghost town down there in the comments, and it can be a little daunting sometimes to be the first person to sort of crack the seal and leave a comment.
We'll respond.
and love you so much for it. So that's all for this one. See us next time.
Bye.
Bye.